Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's some serious. Where my girls at? We link up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
All right. Well, great Monday. Great Monday. It's going down. It's going down on this beautiful Monday. It's a Monday on this making it happen on a motivated Monday at that. You are listening to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship on 910 a.m. the Superstation, WFDF, the oldest urban talk radio station based right here in Detroit. But we have listeners all over the world. We are here Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. And we absolutely love hanging out with you. I hope and pray that you had a terrific weekend. I know you saying, what? Where were you guys Thursday and Friday? I know you came on and you're like, oh, I think we heard that show before. Well, my girlfriends and I, we were off for a few days because of a conference we all had to attend, but we're back and we are ready to go. I am your host, Crisette Ellis from the D, and I am here with my Force of Friendship girlfriends. We got Sabrina, Caterina, and Gloria is on a plane flying. She's probably landed by now, and she'll be off for a couple of days, but you know that's how you do it when you live that kind of life. She's here, there, and everywhere, and wherever she is, trust me, she's bringing some love, some laughter, and some light for sure. Well, you guys, we're excited to be here on this Monday. So much is going on around the world. I'm going to check in with my girlfriend, see how things are going. We're going to talk a little bit about current events, what's going on. I know just listening to the news, oh my goodness, when we have talked about this, and this is absolutely a topic that we just cannot exhaust, and that is climate change. Everywhere you look, you turn the television on and you hear about all of the fires that are burning acres and acres and acres in California. And then, oh my goodness, over this weekend, the torrential rains, and I think it was 24 people lost their lives in Tennessee. Tennessee. My heart goes out to them, to their families. Definitely want to keep them in prayer. I don't know if anything that devastating has happened to them in Tennessee, just to see how the water just rushed in and just wiped out, a town. And it was just so sad. So you guys, so much. And then you look on the other side of the world, you got Afghanistan, and you got, the people trying to get out, the U.S. citizens and those that supported the Afghanis who supported the U.S. while they were there. So you guys, lots going on. I'm going to throw it over to my girlfriend, Sabrina. What's going on, Sabrina? Monday, on this beautiful Monday. What's happening, Bree?
It's Monday motivation. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until the good gets better and the better gets best. This is Sabrina Goodwin Monday. I'm my most favorite day of the week, and we are talking Monday motivation, so you know that's right up my alley. Well, it was a great weekend. It was kind of a blur, man. Things just happened. Glad to see you guys. We were off for a couple of days, so I'm glad to be back live with our audience. Girlfriends, tag a girlfriend. I know some of them were like, I ain't thinking about them chicks. They keep playing them reruns, okay? But you tag a girlfriend, share this broadcast. Tell them we are back live today. It is going to be a hot topic, wonderful world we live in. We just have to have a positive attitude, right? Because if we really looked at what's real, we'd be like, I don't know about this old world we're living in right now. Right. But it is what it is, you guys. It is what it is. Yep, the Pfizer vaccine was FDA approved, and so we're going to talk about that. Lots going on. I just heard about a friend who was just recently hospitalized today because of COVID. So, I just keep hearing news, and more news. So we're here. Caterina, you looking pretty in your pink and purple. How are you out on the West Coast?
Thank you. It is it's a lot. I'm actually over here just scrolling the news. We have to, as we see the news headlines, I put them down to try to keep track of them. And we didn't even talk about New York. I mean, New York, right. The East Coast getting slammed with honorary, but my understanding is it's not as bad as it could have been, which is a blessing. And the U.S. struggling to count its citizens in Afghanistan. I mean, can you just imagine if you were there and no one knows where you are? I mean, I saw that. The Capitol Police officer, when justice is served, the Capitol Police officer who fatally shot the January 6th rioter was found that he acted lawfully. Can you imagine if it had been found that he had not acted lawfully? I mean,
that would have been
you just wonder why.
And a shame. A sin and a shame. Okay.
Like, some stuff you just like, why we even got to take this to trial? But I know we got to, justice and peace. But I'm like, OMG. And then, of course, the schools, y'all, I sent you that article about some schools. It's going to be interesting now that the vaccine is approved. You're going to see more and more places. I think New York is the first city that no restaurants, several places you can't even go in without proof of vaccine. So,
and you know what, Caterina, I think I saw a statistic for New York, which was interesting. It said 76% of New Yorkers had at least one dose of the vaccine, which is really, really, one of the highest numbers. And I know that's just the first shot. But of course, we're looking for, people to be fully vaccinated. But yeah, that so much of that is going on with this vaccine. But I'm excited to hear that the Pfizer vaccine has been FDA approved. Come on, Michael, give us a big applause. We need some applause for that. Absolutely. It has been approved. So that's exciting news. So guys, what do you think? Do you think because of that more people will say now, okay, that it's been approved, I'm going to go and get my shot? Or do you think the no vaccinators are still like, well, they just approved it because they're trying to get us to take the shot? You know how that goes. So what are you guys thinking?
I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. I don't think it's, for me, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. Anti-vax is anti-vax. Approved, FDA approved or not, they made up in their mind. They don't want it, not going to get it, don't think it's necessary, think it's a hoax. That's their story, and they're sticking to it. So I will be interested to see what becomes of an approved vaccination. I just don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we want to hear from some people who some of the anti-vaxxers, just to hear that. I was the one who wasn't super excited about it, but I'm telling you, when I finally sat down with my natural doctor and looked at what I didn't know versus what I did know, which is the problem that could happen if you got COVID and or, God forbid, the flu at the same time. So we want to hear from our audience. For those of you that are, is there anybody out there who was not getting the vaccine who changed their mind, or vice versa? It's just interesting. I did talk to somebody today who is not vaccinated, but did get COVID, and she changed. I mean, I think the needle is moving,
Okay.
So it's interesting. It'll be interesting. It's unfortunate though, because every day it's getting closer and closer. More people that you personally know that
Right, right.
have or are
Well,
battling COVID.
hopefully the individuals who said that it's not FDA approved, if it was FDA approved, I would definitely get the shot. So we're going to see if the numbers increase and they're willing to do it. But the good thing is that because it is approved, it gives a lot of the schools, restaurants, and other businesses, it gives them the teeth that they needed to be able to say,
Yep.
cannot
Yep.
work for us
Right.
unless you're
That's
vaccinated.
right.
You can't come into the restaurant unless you're vaccinated. So you know what? When you start withholding some of the things that people enjoy and like doing, trust me, I believe people will roll up their sleeves and say, hey, you know what? I want to go to the fine dining restaurants. I want to go, to
How about to work, Chris? Not just a
well, some
luxury,
people
but to
like,
work. Okay.
right. Right. But you know what? There are so many jobs now, and I'm sure there are many jobs that you have to go into work, but then there's a lot of jobs where people are at home Zooming and they're like, well, I don't necessarily have to be vaccinated because I don't have to go into the office. But I just think that now that we have the approval, that a lot more people are going to have to make a decision on making a lifestyle change if they make a decision to say, well, I'm still not going to be vaccinated, and their employer says, well, you got to look for another job. So I don't know if they're willing, I don't know how far they're willing to push the envelope before they say, let me roll up my sleeve and get vaccinated. So we absolutely want to hear from our audience. If you're listening in and you're like, I don't care if Jesus Christ said it was okay to get the vaccine, is okay, I am just not going to get vaccinated. If you are no, I'm not doing it, we want to hear from you. We absolutely want to hear your point of view. So give us a call at 313-778-7600. We absolutely want to hear your opinion. Maybe you can share some insight with us, some things that we just did not think about. So, hey, call us up and give us some of your insight, okay, as to why you're not getting vaccinated. Well, ladies, let's go ahead and dive into our conversation on today. Today, we decided to talk. It's Monday, and you know what? Sometimes, you guys, depending on what your weekend was, whether it was a good one or a bad one, sometimes you're like, Monday? When Monday rolls around, you struggle to find the motivation to get up and get going, to go and exercise and do those things that you promised that yourself that you were going to do. So the question today is, how do you stay motivated? How do you get motivated? And number two, more importantly, how do you stay motivated? Well, what I know for sure, these chicks, Sabrina and Caterina, I promise you, they are the master at teaching how to be motivated. And of course, we all, have our days where we're not so motivated. So we're not trying to say that you never have days where you're in a slump or you don't feel like doing it. Been there, done that. But out of 365 days, it should not be half of the year that you feel like that. It should be every now and again. So we want to just talk about some of the things that you can do to get motivated and to stay motivated. So if you know that you are really motivated, hey, you are about it. Most of the time, we absolutely want you to call in and share with us. What are some of your strategies? What are some of the things that you do to stay motivated? So hit us up, 313-778-7600. So motivation. What I know for sure is that motivation comes from within. And you know what? There were times when, before I really understood what motivation was, I thought that other people could motivate me, or that I could motivate other people. And we cannot, because motivation is what you have. Now, what we can do, we can inspire people, and inspiring people and motivating people are not one and the same. When you inspire people, you inspire them to want to use their own motivation that they already have to go out and to accomplish the goals that they want for their lives. And so just thinking about having that motivation from within, we want to kind of talk about, what are some of the things that we do, some of the things that you do, to keep you to have that kind of champion mindset. So again, motivation comes from within. And so for me, I know for sure my motivation, number one, has to start with understanding what my why is for the things that I want to accomplish out of life. I think that if you don't know why you're doing certain things, then it's going to be very hard to get motivated. I mean, you may say, I'm motivated to lose, 15 pounds. And your motivation is, hey, you're getting ready to go on a trip and you bought your swimsuit and you want to look really, really good in that swimsuit. And so you put that swimsuit up so that you can see it every day and you can visualize what you're going to look like in that swimsuit. How's it going to feel to get in that swimsuit? And maybe that's what keeps you motivated is, you have that thing right in front of you. But I know having a why, what is your why, is so important because it is the why that's going to keep you going when the obstacles and the challenges come. So Sabrina is my co-host on today. Her last name is Monday. And so she's always, it's always Monday in the Monday household. Okay. And Sabrina is absolutely a master motivator. So Sabrina, kind of share with us, what are some of the things that you do or you think are important when it comes to staying motivated?
Oh my goodness, Crisette, this is so good because let's face it, we don't always wake up highly motivated. We don't wake up. It has to be a focus. You have to plan on it. You have to become intentional about being motivated. I tell people all the time that the most successful people in life are highly motivated. That is a fact.
Right.
But they work at it. They work at being motivated. They work at being inspiration to themselves and to others. And so, like you said, I totally agree. You got to have a why. You have to have a hard focus. You have to understand what is the alternative. If you're not motivated, what are you? Uninspired. And I tell people all the time, you're not tired, you're uninspired. So you got to find a reason to be inspired. People always talk about, I'm so tired. I don't think so. You cannot be that dang old tired, not at 9 o'clock in the morning when you just got up. Okay. But I do think you're uninspired. So you have to find deep within what is driving you. What is that driving force? And so for me, knowing my why, but being intentional about the focus and why I want to be motivated. Because like I said, if you're not motivated, what's the alternative? You're you're not motivated. That doesn't feel good. You're sluggish, you're dragging. People don't want to be around you. People like being around highly motivated individuals. Right. They do. Yes. And I think you must be the energy that you want to attract. And so if you're not motivated, you're attracting the other to you. And so I do love that. I've worked really hard through my life to be highly motivated. And it's not always easy. Quite honestly, some days it's doggone hard. I mean, life will drain you. Life will pull you down. People, places, things get on your doggone nerves. Don't they get on your nerves?
Oh, yeah.
And so, and life can suck you. It can just drain you. And so you have to be intentional to say, I am in control. I will monitor my mindset. If negative thoughts start to creep, I've got to snap myself out. You got to be able to program your mind, train your brain, hit the delete key, and think a different thought. So I just think managing your emotions, being intentional about being motivated is very important.
Wow, I love that piece. Being intentional, meaning you understand that there are going to be times where your energy isn't there. There are going to be times where life is going to happen, but you already have to know that in advance. And, I think sometimes people think, when struggle comes their ways, when obstacles come their way, that it's just, happening to them. But the truth of the matter is, it happens to us all. If you are above ground and you live any amount of time, everybody is going to suffer something. So none of us gets a pass when it comes to that, right? None of us gets a pass. I mean, come on. If we change the conversation about all of the struggles, all of the things that we have gone through, I mean, somebody would have to get a violin and we could probably have everybody in tears. But you know what? It's this thing called life. And I think, what doesn't break you makes you stronger. You learn and you grow through it. So Caterina, let me throw it to you. Well, you know what? We're getting ready and coming upon our break, and I absolutely want to hear from you, Caterina. You are
Don't be cutting me off. Don't be cutting me off.
I know. We're not going to cut you off. We're going to go to the break, and when we come back, we're going to hear from Caterina. So you guys, today we are talking about how to get motivated and stay motivated. You are listening to We Got Issues on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation, and we'll be right back.
Oh my goodness, Facebook family. We missed you so much. We missed you so much. We're so glad to be back live. And we are talking motivation. We are talking inspiration. We are talking what floats your boat. What gets you excited? What moves you through life? How do you move through life when it's tough? So that's what we're talking about. So to our Facebook Live audience, thank you for being who you are. But just type in the chat, what motivates you? Who motivates you? What inspires you? What makes you get up and go when you don't feel like it? Because we know it's not always easy. We know it's not always easy. But winners get up when it's tough. Champions rise up when it's not easy. So with that being said, I do believe you have to be intentional. You have to make up your mind that I'm going to be a highly motivated individual. I think about it all the time. It's so funny when Crisette was talking about, we say we're going to exercise every day. Can you believe my husband and I, we played tennis 3 times last week. It felt so good to sweat. And we said we were going to play every day. Well, Monday came around today. I ain't thought about playing no tennis. Well, how did I just let that motivation go so easily? So you have to have something that's going to make you hold on to that thing, or it will dissipate into thin air. So I know we got some winners in our tribe. We want to know. You guys learn from each other. What do you do to stay motivated? Where do you find your motivation? All right. Now, on another note, it's my show tomorrow. I have no clue what we should talk about. To our tribe, give me some ideas. Direct message me. Put it in the chat. I'll look at it. Do you know somebody who'd be a great guest speaker? It's my show tomorrow, and I have nobody lined up. I don't even have a topic, so I'm counting on the tribe to pull me through. All right. We're going back real soon to the show. Did you guys miss us? We sure missed you guys live, but we're back today, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7, live. Okay, you guys, talk to you soon. Ciao.
Okay. All right. We are back. And you are listening to We Got Issues on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. And when I tell you, it is a motivated Monday, a magnificent Monday. We're excited today to be talking about how to get motivated and how to stay motivated. And I know many of you are masters at motivation. So we absolutely want to hear from you. If you have some tips and some secrets you want to share with us, we absolutely want to hear from you. So give us a call at 313-778-7600. Before the break, we were talking about, some of the things to do to keep your motivation up. We have a couple of callers, and after that, we're going to go to our girlfriend, Caterina Harris Earl. I believe we have Carla. Carla, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, First Lady. First of all, watching you keeps you motivated. But let me go a little step further because everybody can't see it. All right. My positive motivation tip. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you clearly, Carla. Thanks for calling.
Awesome. I have to say, looking forward, the vision board you taught us about, obviously that's a great motivational tip. But some days, everybody gets down, like you said. So then I have to do what I call my history motivation. I always say, well, now, if God did it before, what makes me think he can't do it again? So I have to take my mind and sometimes just go back and remember some of the things that have some past successes. And then one person put it like this, and I'm through, is I used to be upset about not having shoes until I met the man who didn't have feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I always look down on others, and I pass people on the street all the time and need food, and if I have a sandwich, I might toss it. So it's called be grateful for what I have. Everything may not be all the time like I want it to be, but I look up. I'm above ground, 6 feet above, and that means that this day in front of me, the 24 hours that I have not seen before, are a gift. And what I do with that gift is my present back to the Lord. So I can't stay down, been there more often than I like to admit. But the way I pull myself out, there's a song by Anthony Brown, brand new, it's called On the Pandemic Project. One of them is called Something Good Is Coming to Me Right Now. I'll listen to things like that. And then the second song right behind that one is called History. And he said, God, you've done some great things for me. I need to remember that. We've got history. My story, all the pages haven't been written, but some of them in the past are pretty good. And it's unrealistic for the movie, my past, my story, to have every day, like you said, Pollyanna. No, I have to put the work in. I have to have something to draw from, to get up in the morning, say my prayers, read that good old Bible before I read anything else, and stay positive-minded. It's like a magnet. Your mind, in my opinion, is like a magnet. If you see people, this always happening, the common denominator is me or you. Change something so that you can attract something different. I hope that helps somebody. It certainly helped with me.
Carla, when I tell you, we absolutely love when you call in because you always give such great insight. And that was so good. I love that everything you said was about wrapped around being grateful with what you have. Because sometimes people lose their motivation by looking at what other people have that appears to be more than what they have. And because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses and they don't know how they can, their motivation wanes because it's like, I could never, live in that kind of house. I could never drive that kind of car. And at the end of the day, it's not about keeping up with other people. It's about finding your why, finding your passion, what's going to keep you excited. Because trying to keep up with someone else for real becomes very tiring. And at the end of the day, you're never going to be able to do what they do because you're not them. So, Carla, thank you for reminding us to be grateful and sometimes to go back and look at the things that we have accomplished in the past. Because I just believe if you've accomplished anything in your life in the past, you have the ability to do it over and over and over again. So, Carla, thank you so much for calling.
Thanks for the love. Have a beautiful day.
All right, you too. We have another caller. Grace, are you there?
Hi, ladies. Good evening.
Hi, Grace. How are you? Thank you for calling. We got issues.
Yes. And I'm going to interject a little bit about positive motivation. And I pretty much have always had it all my life because of the influential individuals that have been in my life. my grandmother would definitely not allow me to be a couch potato and not doing things for others. So I was always pretty much so motivated to do positive things, and it felt good. And at an early age, I pretty much so knew who the hell I was, and a lot of it came from that. And my fast course with her teaching me where I needed to be in life, and she instilled in me to be a lot further than I was. If I was 12, I needed to be a lot further than being 12. And so that kind of helped me. And then once I really, really realized what motivation was, it feels good, even within yourself and even doing things for others. So I actually really enjoyed this because that type of conversation needed to be talked about. It needs to be talked about with others. Because sitting on your aunt's couch or your grandmother's couch and not being motivated, it needs to be positive motivation, because you can be motivated not to do anything and not to even care. So I actually been in the lane of being positive and motivated to do things for others. And it feels a lot better just doing about me. And that came with age. It definitely came with age. And so I'm going to pretty much go stay in that particular lane, because my motivation is doing for others, and literally watching them grow from what I contribute to their life. I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place, and I'm going to continue on my journey of positively motivating individuals and keep my positivity motivating within me. I'm going to keep that place. And you talked about the vaccine earlier. I'm at the point, I get it, but I'm still not at the point of the government has convinced me, the scientists have not convinced me, and I'm not an idiot by far. I'm just going to stay in my lane and wait until I feel I really, really need to do more for that of getting the shot. I'm just not there yet.
So great. No. I'm so glad. First of all, let me say your comment about the motivation. I love the fact that you said you are motivated to help others. And I think that is something that is so wonderful, because when you help others and you see how it changes their lives, it juices you. I mean, it brings you so much, right? And I'm sure you receive joy because you give. And even the Bible says, it's more of a blessing to give than it is to receive. And so, the thing that you're receiving is watching them blossom from what you've done. So I applaud you for that. I love that you enjoy helping others. And so I just want to ask you, because we absolutely wanted to talk to some callers who have not been vaccinated and really kind of get into your mindset about why you're not. And you said, so my question to you, Grace, exactly what will it take? What specific things are you looking for to convince you that I need to go and get the vaccine?
I would have to say time for me, and it's time. And I'm waiting for something to really touch you to say, hey, it's time. Because I know my body. I clearly know my body. I'm an individual that never gets sick, okay? Clearly. Even with the flu, I've not been to the hospital since my son, okay? As far as ill.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, and I know my body. So,
so when you say time, I mean, are you saying, because I don't know, you guys correct me, the vaccine came out in February, I believe. So February to February, that's a year. So it's been a year, March, April, May, June, July. So it's been, a little bit more than 15 months since the start of the first vaccination. So how much time do you know, or is it you're just waiting for a feeling?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to say, I can't remember exactly when the first one started. I did say prior to that I needed a year after everyone had done theirs, and I needed a year to find out if I was ready for it. And then two, it's a medical decision, and people are leaving that out. It is literally a medical decision. And I just don't like to put things. I don't drink into my body. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink soda. I'm pretty anal on that particular level of what I put into my body. And in my 40 plus years about staying healthy. And a lot of it is the man upstairs. He absolutely watches over me. I'm just at a point that I'm just not comfortable of making a medical decision that something has got to affect me. Do I know individuals have died? Yeah, I absolutely do. I haven't got there. And I don't quite know exactly anything more what it is. Okay, I feel, and I go on my things and I go on my intelligence on social. I haven't got there because enough time has went by for me. And the government, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything of that sort. They tell us something, but they only give us a portion of what they really want us to know. And there's always something that they're holding back. And I know that for sure with my experience. I'm just not there. And I understand that you have literally took a lot longer, 7, 11 years, or whatever the case may be. And listen here, and I don't care if it's been approved as of hours ago. For the FDA. I just don't care. If it's okay, enough time has not went by for this. And I'm going to say that particular lane, and I have not got sick. I get tested regularly, absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Am I talking to other people negatively because they choose not to do it? Absolutely not. I'm more an advocate. I have family members who have done it, and I encourage them. That's what you do. Please do it. But I'm just not there yet.
Okay. Well, you know what, Grace? I appreciate you sharing that with us. I mean, I can tell you're very adamant about how you feel. I'm sure you're taking the necessary precautions. And so I appreciate you, sharing that with us because we absolutely wanted to hear from someone who just was not there, who just said, hey, I don't care if it is FDA approved. I'm not ready to do it. So we appreciate you calling in. We got issues. Thank you so much, Grace, for adding to our conversation. All right. Have a great day. All right. So there you have it. I mean, Grace said, hey, nope, I'm not doing it.
Way I'm healthy. So we just pray that Grace continues to stay healthy and to stay strong. And again, it is an individual decision. And so, Caterina, I want to throw it to you because you're a girl from the West Coast, Caterina Harris Earl. And when I tell you this chick, and I know because she's human, you guys, she really is human. She has a heartbeat, she has blood and all of that. But I promise you, it seems like this chick is motivated all the time. So Caterina, talk to us a little bit even about some of the apps that are out there that can help us stay motivated.
Okay, well, I mean, I love to talk about this. It's one of my most important topics. And I think it's important for me to understand the difference between motivation, which is motive in action. That's the action. But before that comes, that mindset that we talked about. But I also am really clear at understanding the difference between happiness and joy. And that helps me with my discipline because there's lots of times that I'm not happy. And sometimes we let our emotions dictate whether or not we're going to take action. And I've gotten to a place that I'm not going to choose to I'm not going to make a decision based on emotions. I'm going to make a decision based on what I want my future to look like. So we have to say no to the things that we want right now. Sometimes we can have both for what we want in the future, because I repeat to myself all the time, my joy is non-negotiable. And it's always who you hang around. I mean, it's always who you hang around. For goodness sakes, right now we're reading in Bible study Job. So you talk about motivated and friends being around you. Who you hang around is a big deal. Okay?
Right.
Choosing. I allow myself to have pity parties. I do. I allow myself to have pity parties, and I'll have one. I'll go take a nap, and I'll make a decision that when I get up, I'm gonna turn the page and flip the page. So that's really important. Taking extreme ownership is important for me. There's a line, and above the line is responsibility, and below the line is blame, shame, and justification. And people that stops your motivation, is because sometimes I'm not going to do it because of this, or I can't do it because of this. If only my kids would support me here, if only my husband would do this. But you have to just choose to take extreme ownership. And some of the things that I do, Chris, set alarms on your phone. You know, like, I'm not a pill taker. Anybody out there? I hate taking
Not
pills,
really.
but
Right.
I want health. So I have to set alarms to remember to take pills. So that's literally the app everybody has on their phone, that Think Up app. We've talked about it many times. Music, even the Calm app, to allow you to breathe, because you know, when your BP gets going and people work your nerves, you have to flip the page. And changing your environment. I've been doing a lot of work in the house. We keep talking about it. And so
Right.
the one area we haven't worked on yet is my office. And so I'm coming in my office and making it new. But that means that it's always kind of a mess before it gets new. So my mom keeps saying, you working in a different part of the house every day. I'm like, yep, because when my office is right, I cannot work in a cluttered spot.
Thank you, right.
Sometimes you just got to gather it up and stick it in a box and put a lid on it. Go to Target and get you one of them $11.99 plastic tubs and stick it out of sight, out of mind, so that you can focus on the main thing, being the main thing, you know? So those are just some things that make a difference. I keep saying this quote. I know I said it last week. You are born looking like your daddy, and you die looking like your habits. So I'm just
I thought about that the other day, Caterina.
Yeah, let me have habits that are going to produce the fruit that I want at the end of my life, you know, because it's our habits, really. And so I just got to be motivated to do, we're always motivated to do the big things, right? But motivated to do just today, my 20-minute workout, motivated to pick up my water and my vitamins, you know. So those are some things that make a difference. Sabrina's big on environment. What is it that you love? That was the other thing that I said. What do you do to reset? You know, when you get off, I know for you, Sabrina, you got to go be around some flowers. For me, it's like, what do you need to do to reset? Because you always get, even a plane going from San Francisco to Chicago to New York is off track a lot, but it's constantly like readjusting. So, you know, connecting to God, and then I got to talk to myself. It's a daily moment by moment, not even daily. It's a moment by moment decision.
And I think that is so important, is that you have to, you know, the Bible talks about, you know, don't take care for tomorrow, because tomorrow will take care of itself, the concerns for tomorrow. So, you know what, sometimes, especially when you're going through challenges and obstacles in your life, you can literally only take it one day at a time. And I think we really do a lot of damage to ourselves when we're trying to see what life is going to look like 6 months from now, a year from now. And I'm not saying that you don't set long-term goals. I'm just saying that sometimes, in order to make it to the next day, you just got to get through the 24 hours that you're living in. So that's so good. And I love that you said, Caterina, extreme ownership, extreme. Okay. That means a whole lot. That means you look yourself in the face, in the mirror, and you have a coming to Jesus meeting, not with everybody else that didn't do their part. And they said no, you look yourself in the eye and you take ownership for what you could do or what you could have done to make the situation different. We have some more callers. Oh, go ahead, Caterina.
I was just going to say real quick, the mundane can get real boring. So you got to make it sexy. You got to change it up a little bit, like a game. Some of those regular, things you have to do all the time. So, you know, when it gets boring, shift it up, but you still got to I got to keep on lifting weights every day if I'm going to be toned, for example. So
that's right. It's coming. It's coming. Absolutely. All right. We have a couple more callers. Angela, are you still there? Angela?
I am with my wonderful women. Yes. Hey, Angela. But we got you too. Yes. Hi. Well, I'm wanting to call about the vaccine part of it you were talking about. Yes, but I want to say, I thought it was awesome what Caterina was saying about turn the page and taking ownership. I think a lot of times you know that, but sometimes when somebody else says it, it's like, it refreshes your mind, like a new kickstart. So I appreciate that. But I was talking about the vaccine. I've been listening to the show and everything. And for me, I finally went and got the vaccine. You know, I kind of felt like the subject I kind of felt like the subject just kept coming up over and over and over. And even though I be into different groups, they be talking about things, I really don't like voice, have a lot of opinion or voice a lot of things. Because I have been trying to focus on sanitation and wearing my mask and everything because I'm around a lot of people. I have to take care of different people in my field. And so I was doing that, and I guess when it first came out, I didn't give it that much thought. I just kind of felt like I didn't want to be practiced on, but it wasn't like I made it a big thought. But what has been, I don't know if it correlates together, but lately, excuse me, what has been coming is, you know how when you pray about something, but you got your own expectation of what the prayer answer is. Right. I feel like a lot of times God gives us answers and we kind of miss the mark because we're looking for the answer in a different direction.
Right.
And I was thinking about this whole thing, and even though it wasn't a subject that I was praying about, that's why I don't know if it correlates together, but that thought of when you ask for something, God always trying to give you an answer, but we miss it. And so I was thinking how it just keeps coming up. I get these texts, hey, did you know this classmate passed, or, different relatives and stuff like that. I'm in my own world as far as, I need to sometimes think deeper about things, but sometimes I do a lot of things very surfacey, and I know that. And, but the subject just kept coming up over and over and over. And so then one day my husband, as he came home, he stopped and got the shot. And then I wasn't feeling well, but he was just talking to me about it and stuff. And so kind of like the next day after I dealt with my customers, I went and took up my medicine, and I just decided to go ahead and get the shot. I just felt like it wasn't like a long decision, but I just felt like it was something that just kept coming up.
Okay, so first of all, Angela, if you don't mind, tell us where you're calling from. I hear a little accent in your voice.
Well, I'm calling from Lakeland, Florida.
Okay, in Lakeland, Florida. Okay, great. So your husband decided to go get it. And how long ago did you get it? Last week or a couple of weeks ago? When did you get vaccinated?
I just recently I know that on the 31st of this month, that'll be my 21 days when I'm supposed to get the second one.
Oh, well, good for you. So you just felt like the Lord was sending you signs of, it's time to get vaccinated. It's kind of like that story that we hear about the man that was caught, I think, in the storm, and he was trying to get out, and, the Lord sent a boat and all these different things, and he ended up drowning. And he's like, I thought you were going to help me. And the Lord said, I sent 3 different people to help you out, but you decided not to take them. So it sounds like you were kind of feeling like the Lord was saying, Angela, you need to go get that vaccination.
And that's exactly right, because exactly like that story you just said, even though I wasn't asking for it, I just felt like it just kept coming up. And then that way that, about, like you said, something like if you prayed about it, you're just not looking at it the right way. That thought just kept coming to my mind. And I was like, well, not them. I'm not praying about it, but I said, well, I feel like God was telling me something that was good, and I had heard that even with, I'm not, too much up to date with everything, but I was hearing that with the new one, however you call it, disease, or, the Delta variant.
The Delta variant.
Mm-hmm. The Delta variant, that at least if you had the first shot, even though you might get sick, it might maybe help you from not dying at the same time. So I didn't do no research or anything. I just felt like it just kept coming up. I just kept being, all of a sudden people was in my space and just kept bringing up in different ways. And that thought in my own mind just kept, I was like, okay, there's an answer here that's for me. And I think I don't want to miss it. So I'm like, okay, let me just do something about it. So that's what I did. Well, Angela, I'm not a bad needle person, so
got it. Well, Angela, we're so glad that you called in to share that with us, because I could tell, there a long period of time you were hesitant, and then you felt like, hey, the time is right. And so we're glad that you made that decision to go ahead and get vaccinated. And we appreciate you calling and sharing that with us on We Got Issues. Thank you so much for calling in. Have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. I believe we have another caller. John, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I can listen to you ladies all day long.
Thank you, John.
I want to ask you a question. You all talking about that big instrument tragedy we had down in Tennessee. You seen it? Why was they living on the road somewhere? And who was the people with you? Rich Traveler, they were the poor people didn't have nowhere else to stay. I mean, 40-some people lost their life from what I hear. And the people stayed on the water, and they live there, and they be getting no warning about, big blood coming somewhere and so forth. Women were screaming, and all the children was hollering. So I want to know, could you explain a little more about that incident? I ain't seen it. I don't hardly watch TV. So I just want to say we really talk about it. Because I was not if you see it. If you know about it, so forth. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling, John. We appreciate you. Well, you know what, John?
And girlfriends, you guys can chime in. I know over the weekend they were talking about this big storm that was coming. They talked about, where it was going to touch down, who was going to be affected. They did talk about, many of the rivers that were going to be flooded. And, I just think, and again, I'm not really familiar with the area where the people lost their lives, but, oftentimes when we hear of all these big major storms, especially in Florida, and many people have lived through different storms that have come through. And sometimes, when they talk about how big and how damaging it is going to be, people board up, and some people still choose to ride it out. And in their experience, they've been able to ride it out and they survived it. And so I think sometimes, people make decisions based on past experiences that were successful and they decided to ride it out. I'm not sure. And I would feel comfortable in saying, had these individuals really known that it was going to be as bad as it was, maybe they would have made a decision to leave. But, you can't really get into people's mind as to the choices that they make. So I don't know, Sabrina, Caterina, do you have anything else that you wanted to add about the areas that were affected?
I don't know anything directly, Chris, but one thing that I saw in an article on CNN was what people have to remember about all of this that's taking place in terms of the fires and the, everything that's taking place is climate change is amplifying things. So what may have been the situation 20 years ago, now, you just have to think twice. I mean, it's even drier than we've had drought in California. Now it's even drier. And so it says here, there was an article today, how climate change amplifies extreme weather like Tennessee's deadly floods and New York's record rainfall. So everything is more extreme as it relates to the weather. So that's all I can add.
Okay. And you know what? I absolutely know that that's the truth. I mean, if you just Google how many different things have changed around the world because of climate change, I mean, you will be reading for a long, long time. So climate change is real. It's serious. And people who think that scientists don't know what they're talking about, and, these environmentalists don't know what they're talking about, trust me, they know what they're talking about. We do have another caller. Marathon is on the line. What's up, Marathon? One of our favorite callers. How you doing?
How y'all doing? I'm having a little breakfast, giving a shout out to Earl Jordan's Coney Island in Detroit.
I love Earl Jordan's. Give a shout out. Absolutely.
Yeah. My regimen is I get up at 3:40 a.m. every morning. And I learned that from the teachers of Guru. You can find him on YouTube. And he says that you're at the height of your creativity at 3:40 a.m. So that's when I get up and pray and meditate. I read the Bible, I read the Quran, and I write music.
Wow. You know what, Marathon? I absolutely have heard that there are certain times of a day that your your brain works better. And I have absolutely heard that when you get up earlier, that is the height of your creativity. And I often think, man, how creative I could be if I could be that 5 a.m., 6 a.m. person. There are times when I've done it, and there are times when I've wanted to do it, but just couldn't drag myself out of the bed. But you know what? That is certainly true, Marathon, that a lot of creative people will tell you, and I can honestly say it has happened to me when I've gotten up. It seems like your thought process is a lot clearer. You can get so much more accomplished, and you look up and you're like, I did all of that. It's only 9 o'clock. It's only 10 o'clock, and you're like, well, I still have a full day. You're absolutely right, Marathon.
Well, when I worked with Stevie Wonder when I was 21, I used to think that he had his recording sessions at 3 a.m. I thought it was because he was blind, but I believe he goes with that teaching too.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that he does as well.
Yes, he records in the AM, early AM. We would have to take naps to keep up with him, but I do it automatically without an alarm clock.
Got it. Wow. That's awesome, Marathon. That is so awesome. Well, we appreciate you sharing that with us, and maybe I'll set my alarm tomorrow for 6 a.m. and then if you call,
pull myself out the bed and get an early start on Tuesday. Okay. You said what time was that again, Marathon?
3:40 a.m. to 6 a.m. Look up Side Guru on YouTube. Side Guru. He'll explain it.
Side Guru. Okay. All right. I'm going to check that out. Okay. Yep. Well, we appreciate you calling, Marathon. Have a good one, okay?
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Guys, we absolutely love all the callers that called in on today. Thank you so much. I want to read a couple of motivational quotes that I think are so powerful. One of them is push yourself because no one is going to do it for you. Push yourself because no one is going to do it for you. And that's what I said at the beginning of our show, was that motivation comes from within. And so you have to be about it. You have to be about it. You can't expect anybody else to push you, because one of the things we say all the time is somebody else can't want success more than you do. And that's why we say you can lead a person to the water, but you cannot force them to drink.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
You want to add anything else? We're getting ready to come upon the close.
No, it's been a great show. Great show. You just have to make up your mind. Look at my book. It says to be motivated. This says I got this new journal. Every day I'm hustling. Okay? Every day I'm hustling, baby. So go get what you deserve to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. You've been listening to We Got Issues on 9:10 a.m. The Superstation. We're here Monday through Friday from 6 to 7. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on today. We'll see you tomorrow. Remember, stay motivated. Trust me, you'll like it. See you tomorrow. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll see you on tomorrow.
Ciao.